Is my face appropriately in frame?
Well, sit back in the position. You're not going to be sitting straight up like that. We're going to be sitting back in it.
Usually I kind of lean around. Anywho. There we go. Okay. So, we saw Man from U.N.C.L.E. This has been a fucking great year for spy movies.
I don't know how much I can say about that, but...
between this and Mission Impossible 4, which is also really good.
Did not see that.
And Kingsman.
And that was Mission Impossible 5.
I missed 5, sorry. Yeah. 5. And then Kingsman, which movie...
Kingsman was pretty good.
I love Kingsman. I fall in love with it a little more every time I watch it.
Really?
Yeah, like, I've watched it over and over again. It's like, it's so... specifically stylized. Like,
okay.
So yeah. Like I fall in love with it for that reason.
I do enjoy it. I did enjoy it when I saw it, but I don't.
It's the way. It's just for some reason the style and the energy it has works for me.
No, I like the fact that they turned Colin Firth, the most unbadass polite British man, into this crazy fucking violence machine.
Yeah, didn't they make a joke about that in Jon Stewart?
Did they?
Yeah, like I think Colin Firth was talking to Jon Stewart. He goes, as far as they made a list of actors least like a kick-ass, and I think we're at the top of it.
So they hired me.
So yeah, Man from U.N.C.L.E. This took me a while to warm up to, but once I did, I had a lot of fun.
Well, let's preface, neither of us know anything about the original.
No, I did not even know this was a remake until you said it right now.
And I personally am a big Guy Ritchie fan. I've seen all of his movies except for Swept Away.
I've seen his more recent stuff. I haven't seen too much of his older work.
Lock, Stock, and Snatch were two big, huge movies for me in high school. And Lock, Stock especially because I was a fan of Jason Statham before any y'all. So I get super hipster about it. But no, seriously, Jason Statham, before he was all buff and action hero-y, he was just a grumpy ass criminal and just trying to find his way through the London Underground. And
which way was that?
Well, he was the same in both movies technically. Oh, okay. But in Lock, Stock, he was one of a 4-man crew of people who decided to try robbing some guys. And then in Snatch, he was a manager for an underground boxer.
I think I've actually seen Snatch. I think Snatch
you better fucking seen Snatch. Yeah. Snatch is essential viewing. If you haven't seen Snatch, featuring Brad Pitt as a dirty, grungy gypsy who you can barely understand through the whole movie, it's great. There's even a subtitle track for the film. You know how they have English, Spanish, all that shit? There's a subtitle track called Pikey, which means that none of the movie is subtitled except for when Brad Pitt talks. And there's one part where he's describing the caravan they want him to get, and that he wants them to get his mom, where nobody knows what he says. And it's funny because when it goes to that part of subtitles, it literally just says question marks. it's great.
Well, at least has a sense of humor about it.
I think she's partial to Parawick Blue. But yeah, it's... So, Snatch is fantastic.
So that's our review of Snatch.
He went on from there to make Revolver, which was a much more serious action movie with Ray Liotta and Jason Statham again. I think he went on to make Swept Away after that. Fuck that, whatever. He was married to Madonna, pet project. I'm sure he got laid for it. And then he made Rock and Rolla, which is more subdued, not as clever, not as funny, but still a pretty solid crime caper, good twists, with Tom Wilkinson as just an asshole criminal. Then he got the Sherlock Holmes deal, which, both charming, fun movies, but very much mainstream films. Yeah. And this is the first movie he's made since Book of Shadows.
I think so, yeah, unless there's like some indie film I missed.
No, it's been 3 years since we've heard from Guy Ritchie, and quite a bit longer since we've heard from him going through things like just the criminal underworlds.
A little bit.
I mean, because you could consider Sherlock Holmes kind of being like that, but it's very, very different from.
Yeah, I would say so. It's like it's no spy movie.
Yeah, basically. It is an investigation movie as opposed to getting directly into the trouble and taking this stuff on hands-on. They're generally running from stuff half the time.
Yeah. I mean, this one is a clear homage / love letter to the spy movies of old.
Yeah.
From the cinematography,
Very
from
much so.
the fashion sense, from even the way they talk.
The script.
Henry
is...
Cavill talks in this very old-fashioned, like 40s style dialogue, where it's practically like Jake's parents from Adventure Time.
Almost, yeah. And he does very much have that that unshakable secret agent flair of being really polite and classy, even when he's being, an
asshole
shot at. Oh yeah, no. We'll get because Hugh Grant. Okay, there are a couple of really weird.
There's some weird
choices,
casting choices,
and it all works. It all works. None of it's bad, but it's like Hugh Grant shows up, and you're like, what?
I felt like the guy from Mad Men and Fringe. I felt like that role was written for Nick Nolte.
Well, yeah, the when they bring him in, the guy who plays, I forget his name, but he's plays Lane Price in Mad Men, and then he's Mycroft in Sherlock Holmes.
No, he's not Mycroft. He's Moriarty.
Moriarty in
no, Mycroft is Stephen Fry.
Yeah, who played Mycroft in the first Sherlock Holmes? That weird bald dude, right?
I don't think Mycroft is in the first Sherlock Holmes.
Wait, who's the bad guy then? Not Stanley Tucci.
It was
some dude who looks kind of like him.
No, it was a guy who played Sinestro in Green Lantern. He was
Anyway, different movie, whatever, fuck it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that guy plays their contact for America. Honestly, I don't know why in this movie full of really interesting choices for casting, they chose one of the best British people I've ever seen to play the American correspondent.
Right, Henry Cavill.
Yeah.
No, not Henry
his
Cavill.
contact, the Lane Price guy.
Oh, yeah.
But then they also chose Armie Hammer to play the Russian guy. He is
Hold on, I gotta wake these people up.
Fuck off.
Go away.
Stupid people.
Hey, I've done the what I call land sharking for parking spaces.
Oh yeah, no. I prefer the creeping behind someone as they go.
And if you ever wanted to like drive slowly behind someone as they're walking by to their car when you're waiting to pull up, I just want to get like the Jaws theme on my car and yank it.
No, I just it's this thing where I don't want to be creepy, but if the parking is that hard to find, I will follow you to your car. I'm sorry.
We've all done it.
I'm not a stalker. I need parking, damn it, and I got dibs on you. But when it comes down to the casting choices for the movie, Armie Hammer was the twins in the.
Oh yeah, the Russian guy. Yeah.
And he actually does really well as the Russian guy.
Pretty good.
And
Henry Cavill took some getting used to.
Yeah, it did a bit. It's difficult at first to see him as a classy, dignified, intelligent. A secret agent, or even as the thief that his background story is.
Well, this was clearly filmed not long after they filmed Superman, so he's still fucking huge.
Well, yeah, he's still got the body, and at the same time, he's also kind of got that aloofness to him. Although I know that's supposed to be him being,
suave
and everything, but he's.
I feel like it could have been a little better cast, but at the same time, like it still works. It works for me. Yeah, it's perfectly suitable.
Honestly, Armie Hammer was somehow a more convincing Russian.
Yeah,
but
he really was. He was really good.
Outside of that, really weird ass when they're showing the history of Henry Cavill's character in the projection room to brief Armie Hammer's character. The Red Peril, love that name.
Right.
The keep your eyes open for a completely unnecessary and bizarre cameo by David Beckham as the projectionist. Okay, why not? But outside of that,
I am David Beckham. Bye, I'm David Beckham.
Yeah. But with all that together, once the movie actually gets rolling, the initial chase sequence is pretty great. They start the movie off with a pretty great kick. The pace just immediately goes up.
Oh yeah.
And they move straight on to teaming the two of them up and immediately establishing that they don't like each other and they have a rivalry. And I love the initial establishment of this rivalry. Not the chase scene. Not
when they're beating each other up in the bathroom.
No, not even when they're wrestling in the bathroom, but when they meet up in the fashion boutique, shopping for the girl, Gabby. When they meet up there and they start arguing about fashion.
Oh yeah.
And it is one of the most amazing, because you don't generally see men talking too much about fashion in movies these days. It's kind of accepted that men are like, they look good and they just know what they're talking about in the movies or whatever. You don't generally see them talk about it. I don't know, because it's not considered masculine or whatever.
At least not back in the old James Bond days.
Well, not even these days talking about fashion like that.
That's true. Yeah.
I mean, you don't hear men talking about it. They want to see them punch shit, but they had no problem establishing the class and dignity that is associated with men knowing exactly what they're talking about when it comes to matching clothes up, and I fucking loved that. That's at the same time as it's all a kind of gender norm busting, it also takes it back to a ways where it's like, you know what you're fucking talking about when it comes to your clothes, and knowing how to match outfits, and the way that, you know, later on, just as he's leaving, he throws the slight at the Red Peril, just being like, that bow tie doesn't match that suit, and walks away. And he just looks around, kind of frustrated and pissed off.
That was like right after the scene where Henry Cavill like finds all the Russian bugs in his hotel room, and he goes over to the Red Peril and starts going, "These are Russian bugs," while tossing all over a dozen bugs to this guy, and then
a handful,
and then he goes, he says, "I'll be right back." Comes back, and says, "These are American bugs,"
and they're pretty low tech too. Fuck off. Bitch.
This is our spot.
So. With all that,
and then like right before he leaves, he goes, "That bow tie doesn't match," and then he skills off.
The banter between them throughout the movie, even mid-mission, when they're being shot at and trying to debate whose idea is better, and they're constant dick measuring with their gadgets, and the fact that the Russians consistently have better tech, but sometimes it's Henry Cavill's just good old know-how when it comes to shit, and the fact that they both consistently keep fucking up somehow.
Can I talk about the boat scene? Because that was my favorite scene in the movie. I thought that was okay. So right after what he was talking, there's a big dick measuring contest as they inadvertently end up going on a mission together because they just both happen to have the same idea at the exact same time, and so they decide to work together. And then shenanigans happen. They get caught, and then the Russian decides to take a swan dive off a window, thinking there's a lake below, crashes on the deck. But you don't see it. You don't see it until Henry Cavill gets the exact same idea.
It does the same thing, and it does the same thing.
So they get on a boat, and another boat's chasing them around the dock, trying to shoot them. And then at some point, Henry Cavill falls off the boat.
He gets flung from the boat because he wasn't holding on tight enough.
The Russian still thinks he's there for a brief period of time. Henry Cavill basically says, "Fuck this," and goes to like a big old truck where there has to be a picnic basket.
He swims to shore, gets into this truck that's just sitting there, and sits there watching this guy being chased around and shot at with machine guns.
No, he puts on orchestra music, and then he watches this completely different movie happen in front of him.
He's just enjoying
He's in there. He's got some wine.
Picnic basket. He's got this champagne that was in there.
Champagne, yeah.
Pours himself a glass. He's like, oh, there's a sandwich. All right, panini.
Tucking a napkin in.
Yeah, just sits there eating a sandwich, watching this guy get fucking running for his life.
And the boat explodes.
Catches fire, sinks under, and he's like,
"Damn it, fine.
I guess I should do something." Although, to be fair, the Red Peril did say, "Watch me work."
True.
He did preclude that with "watch me work." And he did. And once it was done, he's like, all right. And the way he just very, very neatly just lands the truck on the bad guy's boat, and then waits until it sinks, rolls up the window, calmly waits until it sinks far enough, till he sees him through with the headlights, and he's like, all right.
Rolls the window up, waits for the car to fill up with water.
The coolness with which he goes through everything is fantastic.
I mean, there's some parts that bother me. I did think that some parts of the CGI was like distractingly out of place.
I hope you're not waiting for us. I hope you're not waiting for... That guy looks like he's about to vomit. Oh no, he's smoking a joint.
Well, he's not. Look.
I hope he's not waiting for us.
We'll let him figure it out.
All right, whatever.
Oh, he's waiting for this guy.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah. Anywho,
California.
Yeah, we're in a very packed. We're like in a popular spot of the
Yeah, it's
parking lot
really,
right now.
really. Oh yeah, it's Sunday. People are bored. But anyway, I lose track of dates with being on grave shift.
Yeah,
but yeah, the whole just the tone of the movie the entire way through.
It's completely tongue in cheek.
Yeah,
like, it is tongue firmly planted on cheek.
It is. There are moments of seriousness, but with all that, there's running gags throughout the film.
I mean, you're never really. I don't think you're ever supposed to really take it that seriously.
No, you're not. It is a lighthearted
spy
film.
Spy movie.
It is a lighthearted spy film, and it is absolutely
style over substance.
Wonderful fun all the way through.
Oh yeah.
And Hugh Grant's character especially, I don't even want to say what the subject's about, because I know we're generally spoiler whatever in this, but it was a good little twist. And when Hugh Grant's character is explaining to them what the hell has happened,
such an asshole.
He is Hugh Grant has always been the bumbling date person. Like, that was how he made his career in America and all that. You know, the British charming, goofy guy. But in this movie, he takes that same attitude and turns it to being a spy master. And when he starts talking to them about something that is going to make them very upset,
he's very polite.
The Britishness of it, just the level of absolute politeness while telling them, well, yes, I've been manipulating you this whole time, and then like just this whole thing of how he turns around and he's like, yes, but no hard feelings, right? We're still on the mission. Yes, okay. So here's what we're doing now. It's so absolutely simultaneously charming and douchey. He's like the epitome of that kind of British tone, and the script of it comes from Guy Ritchie, so he pulls it off fantastically.
Oh yeah.
I mean, this is the guy who wrote the fucking Nemesis speech from fucking Snatch, as well as the the Desert Eagle .50 speech, same movie. So many great fucking speeches in that movie. But he knows how to write a script, especially to fit his characters. And the dialogue throughout the whole film is an absolute blast. You are constantly entertained. Regardless of, it would have been a fun movie without all the dialogue being that good. The action alone is really good.
Great. I mean,
but the dialogue just kicks it up to a whole nother level. You are engaged the entire way through.
I mean, there's some parts I felt like it kind of meandered a little bit. I feel like it could have kind of like a 10.
Like what?
Well, like some of the stuff with the girl I felt got a little kind of annoyed, or like stretched on a little too long.
They had to give her a bit of attention. She's the main character.
I mean, I get that. I don't know. I feel like some parts, like, okay, like the buggy scene, I felt in particular went on a little too long.
The chase near the end?
The chase near the end. It's
the chase scene could have been directed a bit better.
I feel like they could have cut some of that out.
There was, in scenes that involve vehicles, there is a bit of an over-reliance on CGI, I feel.
That bothered me.
It does the thing where it does the long shot where, oh, it's a camera. No, it's not. We're going to zoom in on this car. Okay, going out. Oh, zoom in on the other car. Oh, what's this guy doing? Okay, and now this is where it comes together. And I personally have a big preference for old-fashioned hands-on chase sequences.
Yeah, me too.
Like a bullet style. Get the camera in the car, like record them bouncing off of stuff. There's stuff like that, but the cuts to CG it felt like a cop-out a little bit.
Yeah, and like there's even like a CGI shot of a helicopter flying to the I will say helicarrier, it's Avengers. The ship, whatever it's called. I'm terrible.
It'll be a helicarrier.
Is that called helicarrier? Okay.
Well, it's
a carrier.
It's a boat that carries planes and shit. Just roll with it.
Either way, it's like a CGI shot of the helicopter flying over to it. It's like, really, you couldn't get that on film in any way? I don't know. Like stuff like that. It's like, I feel like
considering the budget they obviously put into the rest of the movie, it seems like a strange oversight.
It's like, we'll just make CGI. No one will notice.
Yeah.
It's like I don't think some directors have figured out that it's incredibly obvious when things are CGI.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. A lot of the time, it's not.
I mean, like
there's a lot of
well,
CGI in movies that we have no idea.
I mean, let's take Mad Max, for example. Mad Max is a great use of CGI because you can never tell. Because most of it's environmental.
That's because most of it is actually practical effects.
True, but like a lot of the environment stuff like that are CGI. Like a lot of the canyons and stuff like that, those are all CGI.
But when it comes to the actual physical stuff, the mistake they made in this movie versus that is that there is a bit much CGI. It's like they tried to overly stylize the cinematography for those scenes, and it didn't quite work. The scenes are still fun, but it feels like it's not quite on par with the rest of it. For example, really weird, actually, just thought of this, really weirdly, if you compare the sequence on the jet ski, or when they're trying to escape and it gets flung, the one we just talked about, that is a much better filmed chase sequence than any of the rest of the chase sequences in the film that are in cars, because it is they don't have that stupid zoom in zoom out bullshit. It's actually a straight up chase sequence, and it a lot of it you can tell is practical effects, and they're just driving around and they're filming it, so it feels a lot better.
Until the truck comes in, and you can tell they very obviously CGI'd that to land perfectly on a boat.
Of course, you're not going to actually try to do that. How many takes can you do of that before you're like, all right,
how many trucks can you afford?
we need to cut some of the crew to afford another couple takes of this. Like, what? But yeah, let's see. What else? Oh, Guy Ritchie, as always, fucking flawless soundtrack.
Oh my god, the music soundtrack. Amazing. This is like Guardians of the Galaxy good.
From the score to the songs that they actually picked, everything is perfect for the scenes that they're in. And the moments that the music is used to a funny effect, like the electric chair moment.
Oh god.
Just the music as it starts playing is just so perfectly suited for that scene, and I should not have laughed so hard at a man just being electrocuted until he catches fire, and screaming the whole time. And I sound like a monster saying this, but it really is fucking hilarious.
Okay, like,
and the quip at the end when he looks back and he's like, "Oh damn, I left my jacket in there." Like,
it's like actually it reminds me of Cop Car a little bit in that scene when the kids find the guy in the back of the car, and they go, "We need to talk about this for a second." I think he's a good guy. Me too. To compare to this one, they go, well, we could do this, or we could do that.
Or when they just like, straight up say, when they straight up say, this is our cop car, we're keeping it. But, okay, I don't give a fuck about this cop car. Like, it's God, the sense of humor in this movie is just fantastic.
Oh yeah.
It's thoroughly entertaining all the way through.
Yeah, I mean, it's like if you're looking for like a deeper experience, you're not gonna get it here. Yeah. But at the same time, if you're looking for such fun, kind of mindless way to distract yourself.
Yeah, it's definitely weirdly it feels like it is in the same vein as Kingsman.
It is. Although I would say
put it above.
Yeah, I would say Kingsman is better.
I would put this above. But
really? You think so?
Yeah.
I think Kingsman is better.
Kingsman was a little cartoony for my tastes.
I see. I like that. It was cartoony.
And I enjoy cartoony comic book style, but at the same time, I was also comparing it to Kick-Ass, which I liked better than Kingsman.
I like Kingsman better than Kick-Ass, to be honest.
Maybe it's because you've watched it enough.
I've watched Kick-Ass a few times. There are things about Kingsman I just like better.
No, I know, but you said that it's grown on you more and more each time you watch it.
That's true. That's true. So maybe I'm biased.
It's become a favorite. Yeah. But considering that I've seen each of those, well, I've seen Kick-Ass a couple times, but considering that I've seen both of these movies once each, initial impressions off of each of them, and maybe this is just because I'm a huge Guy Ritchie fan, but I'm also a big Matthew Vaughn fan.
Oh, I love Matthew Vaughn. Yeah.
So but I do think that Guy Ritchie pulled it off better, possibly even because he's British and he gets that kind of style.
Maybe I don't know.
I have a bias with British humor and British cleverness, and
to be honest, I prefer it too.
I've been a huge fan of it ever since I was a kid. Everywhere from Monty Python to the Guy Ritchie films that I was so obsessed with, to just straight up James Bond shit. Like I've just always been a fan of it, and Colin Firth is fantastic. And this movie had an interesting lack of British people, considering that it is directed by Guy Ritchie. But the style is there. The style, the dialogue, all of it is still very much Guy Ritchie. Yeah. And it shines through all the way. And little bits with the editing, like the sound where the song cuts out when she holds up her finger.
Oh yeah.
And just little tidbits like that spilled throughout the movie just give it this touch and this style that are great. From when they assault the island, the multi-screen approach, very, very stylized, very fun, pulled off fantastically,
better than
very
80s
dynamic,
Hulk.
very kinetic, just I had a fucking blast at this movie.
Me too. I mean, you pretty much said everything I can really say about it. So.
Yeah, I've been ranting, but I just, like, I've been waiting. I loved the Sherlock Holmes movies, but they were not,
They weren't bad. They weren't the best.
They weren't as good as this was.
No, this is way better.
I enjoyed this so much more, and this was a return to that kind of high-level Guy Ritchie style of just cleverness and fun action, and just infusing even action scenes with a humor that is almost effortless. It's unbelievable. So yeah, fuck yeah. Watch this damn movie.
I think you said pretty much anything I could say. I mean, like I said, I'd still put Kingsman above that just because I think I like the style about that movie a little more. That being said, I do have a high respect for what this movie was clearly trying to do, and I think it pulled it off very, very well.
I think the one part of Kingsman that bugged me too much, there was one part that pulled me out of it.
Okay.
And that was the church scene.
I love the church scene.
But that's the thing. I know that he makes an effort to make it, this is a church full of horrible racist people.
Well, yeah, that was a little bit over the top. But...
Let's kill them. And, I know that's supposed to be somewhat of a justification the same way that, say, someone being a Nazi, by default of being a Nazi, deserves to die. But I don't know. I still saw it as a church full of innocent people being murdered mercilessly. And
if you had a problem with that, I get why.
It was, and keep in mind how long that scene was. It was a long string of murder. And
true, but it's also one of the most well-directed.
It was really well done. I was so conflicted about it because it's such a well-done action sequence. But at the same time, there was part of me that was fundamentally bothered by the fact that it was very much pitched to be cool. It had fun music over it. It was supposed to be going, woo, cool. And I'm sure there were a bunch of people, you obviously did, and I don't necessarily fault you for that because it's a fictional movie and they're all meant to be horrible scumbags. But personally, just in terms of my personal ethics towards death, which is weird in an action movie, I know, but that crossed a weird line for me that I didn't realize could be crossed in a movie like that.
That goes into credit where, like, I get that. I definitely see where you're coming from. If that bothered you, I totally understand why.
No, it
did not bother me.
Yeah. I don't judge you in the slightest for not being bothered by that. I normally, if you told me about that sequence, especially like when I was in high school, I would have been like, fuck yeah, let's do it. But watching it now, I don't know, it irked me. So, and there was nothing in this movie that irked me on that level. There was no gratuitous wanton slaughter of people. There were action sequences where a lot of people got the shit beat out of them, deservedly, and chase scenes and all. But it did feel like a kind of James Bond, moderately ethical style of thing. Where,
yeah, I would agree on that.
It's
like even there's a part at the beginning when the Russian guy is chasing him down the street, and he pulls the trunk out of the car, jumps on the car, and the girl goes, "Why aren't you shooting him?" He goes, "Just doesn't feel right."
Yeah, just doesn't feel like the right thing to do. And even when the KGB agent comes up against the Russian cops, and he tells them, "I'm KGB, get out of the way," and they're still holding him at gunpoint, he very specifically incapacitates them without killing them, and the last guy surrenders and he lets him go. It's I don't know. There's a code of ethics there that I agree with more. And
in Call First Defense, it was beyond his control.
It was beyond his control, but at the same time, the director very clearly intended that to be a fun scene.
I've had fun.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. In this movie, there's a sense of
this one's a little more or less ethically ambiguous.
Dignity, I suppose.
Maybe
dignity that I suppose it's a level of dignity that I associate more with spies in movies like this. Possibly even because this is in the older style of spy movies as opposed to a modern, more violent style thing.
Yeah.
I mean, like James Bond. Again, quintessential, classic British spy. Did not kill people for no reason. Did not kill innocent people. A very big code of ethics on that. So, I guess, yeah, I would definitely say that was a big difference for me.
Fair enough, and that just goes to different tastes and different ethics and all that stuff.
Two opinions. Take your pick.
So I'm a heartless monster. No, I'm kidding.
Well, I'm a heartless monster too.
I just want to watch people die.
Let me keep in mind, The Human Centipede 2 is one of the funniest movies I've ever seen.
That's a stretch for me.
To me, it's hilarious, and that is definitely way more gleeful about its violence upon innocent people.
Doesn't that one have an unborn baby being stomped on?
Yes. The money shot in the movie is no, it's not an unborn baby. It gets born. It gets born.
A
and then
newborn baby getting stomped.
Its head crushed under a gas pedal.
See, that's where I draw the line.
No, when that moment happened in theaters, I was like, oh shit! And when I saw the director's cut on Blu-ray and realized that moment was censored, I was very upset. Because
how dare you censor my newborn baby?
I wanted to see my friends' faces, and I knew they weren't gonna watch the movie with me again just to see a baby's head get crushed. I mean, how am I supposed to explain that to them?
I mean, one of the first women I dated made me watch the first one.
The first one is not a fun movie.
We did not last long.
No, the first one is not a fun movie. The second one, okay. Do you want to talk about the Human Centipede for a second? Here's the thing about the Human Centipede. Human Centipede 1 is enjoyable to a very specific breed of people. I don't like those people. The Human Centipede 1 is meant to be horrifying. It is disgusting. It is gross. There's innocent people who don't have anything, like, you're not supposed to, ew. And it is played as a straight horror film. And it is dark and bleak and disgusting. And you think you see the trailer and you think, hey, this isn't gonna be like, I've already seen everything in the trailer. The trailer shows them stitched together. That's the end of the movie, right? That's what happens, and that's the conclusion. That's the horrifying conclusion. No, watch the movie. That's the halfway mark. The second half of the movie is the doctor training his new pet. It is horrifying, it is disgusting, it is demeaning, it is cruel, and it is difficult to watch. The first one.
Okay, yeah.
It is difficult to watch. It was difficult to watch for me, and it has one of the bleakest endings that I've seen of any movie ever. It's seriously one of the most fucked up her fucking best friend dies of an infection and malnutrition tied to her fucking stitched to her asshole. The Japanese dude whose asshole her mouth is stitched to has killed himself because he can't bear to live like this. There have been police called to the house of the doctor, and in a shootout, the doctor and the two police have been killed. So the one surviving person is the middle part of the centipede, the heroine of the film, who you thought would fight it out and make it out alive due to her indomitable will. No, she's stuck stranded in the middle of the fucking woods with no one ever gonna find her, and the camera just pans up to the sky as she sobs and screams. That's the end of the first Human Centipede. Me and my friend, who were totally into fucked up movies, when we first decided to watch it, we watched it, and for the last 20 minutes of the movie, I swear, we were both kind of just looking at our phones, waiting for it to be over, and we both just sat quietly, and my friend just said, I'm gonna go for a walk. And I'm like, yeah. And we went for a walk, and we didn't talk for like 10 minutes. It was a profound twist of expectations, which I suppose you could call brilliance, but fuck, man. And here's the thing. The first movie, joyless. The second movie, I had to be convinced to go see. It was showing in 10 theaters across the country.
Shit.
Once. Midnight on Halloween. The only showing of this movie in 10 theaters across the country. And I'm glad we went and saw it because there's almost no way to see it uncensored otherwise. Except on Netflix Instant. Shh. But, which I found out way later, but that's a different story. So he talked me into seeing this simply because it was a moment in horror history that, and the guy specifically said that the second movie would make the first movie look like My Little Pony. So I kind of had to know. So we went to see it, and I was given one of the most beautiful, joyous surprises that I have ever received out of a movie. you are not supposed to like any character in this movie. You're not supposed to root for any character in this movie. It's just an ugly, disgusting, fucked up movie where everyone's fate is just suffering and nothing is going to be okay for anybody. And the main character of the movie is a mentally he's mentally retarded. It's just the term for it. It's seriously, that's the character. The movie is meant to offend you.
Really, movie the newborn baby crushing is meant to offend you. I am utterly
Here's
shocked.
the thing. People will weird it out when I compare it to this, but I compare it to Postal, the Uwe Boll movie.
Okay, that's actually fair.
Because those are the two movies that I've seen that gleefully troll their audience in a way that is absolutely unacceptable for anybody. And it's hilarious. You have to see it from the point of view of the director. If you see it just as a person trying to enjoy a movie and get connected with characters, it's not going to be okay. But what happens is that the sense of humor, he's mentally retarded. He works in a parking garage as the night shift guard, and he is obsessed. He's mute also, and he has an abusive mother who just screams at him all the time, and he is obsessed with the first Human Centipede. He watches the movie continuously at his job. He masturbates to it with sandpaper. Yeah, that happens. It's like you're like, why? Okay.
And Kingsman's not.
Yeah, see, I don't know. But here's the thing. The sense of humor in the movie is so bizarre. Like, he's so happy when he goes and like smacks people over the head with a tire iron to take them down to become part of his centipede. He goes and rents a warehouse and starts storing the people there. And he has a tire iron, and he'll incapacitate the person in some way, and they'll be on the ground like begging or whatever, and he'll just walk up with this look on his face like bah. Like he has this bah whenever he hits someone on the head with the tire iron. And it's so bizarrely innocent the way that he does it that it's funny. And there's this one point where he's been kidnapping people, and some of the last people he kidnaps, they don't even bother showing you how he does it. They're like, oh, look at these people. They've pissed him off somehow. And cut to them on the floor of this thing tied up. Like, we're not even going to bother showing you how he kidnaps them this time. Let's get to the centipede. And then it gets to the centipede. And you have to realize that the first movie was a former Nazi doctor who has extreme training and has studied this and has figured out how to do this surgery and has studied the anatomy. This one, you're literally looking at a mentally handicapped dude with a staple gun and duct tape. It is unbelievably horrifying and disgusting. And if you've gotten that far in the movie, it's almost like slapstick. Really, really horrifying slapstick in seeing this guy try to put this thing together and just continuously having it not work, but him somehow managing to figure it out. And there's the one point of the movie that got genuinely creepy to me and was brilliant is when he manages to put it all together and everyone's screaming and crying and just cuts to him going like this, and somehow they manage to mix the audio of the screams into what he's hearing, which is like a symphony of suffering. And it's only for a few seconds, but it's genius. And this was the worst thing I'd ever seen in my life. It was so horrifying and offensive, and it did it so gleefully in a way that I had never seen before, except in the Postal movie, and that wasn't nearly as psychopathically just violent. And I wondered, how the fuck is Human Centipede 3 gonna be anything else? Because the second movie is basically a silent film. He doesn't talk. But the third one managed to simultaneously be worse in every way and less gory. It is offensive on a fundamental level. They have a porn star that they've hired to be his secretary, be the actress as a secretary, and she is subjected to some of the most misogynistic abuse that I've ever seen in a movie, and at the same time, she just goes with it, and it's all to show how much of a monster this main character is. And this main character is this screaming, he's the doctor from the first movie, the actor, but he is this new, crazy-ass, racist, just power-hungry, violent, abusive prison warden who at one point, for example, waterboards a prisoner with scalding hot water. And when they take the towel off, it takes its face with it. It's disgusting. And this movie has lines like, "Death, rape is your destiny." Like, yeah, it's horrifying. And the whole movie is his war with the inmates and him just going crazy and being the most disgusting person that he could possibly be. And the whole movie is just grossing you out and offending you on a level that you didn't even realize you could be offended on. And there's something just brilliant about it. There's something fundamentally extreme about everything that he does in that movie, and it's disgusting and horrifying, and I can't recommend any of these movies to anybody. I can't. Don't watch them. Don't. Because you will be offended unless you're the kind of person who can actually spot a troll and enjoy the trolling for the trolling's sake. If you are a troll yourself, and you're the kind of troll who can enjoy the kind of movie that intentionally is trying to piss off its audience.
So Wes would like this.
Yes, Wes would love this. We should watch all three with Wes and do a review.
Oh, God.
It would be great. But seriously, these movies, if you have the stomach for it, are some of the most gleefully sadistic and brilliant things I've ever seen. They are gems and deserve to be landmarks in the history of their genre, and I can't highly recommend enough that you stay the fuck away from them. But if any of that sounds the least bit funny to you, and I know I sound like a goddamn monster right now, because every time I try to describe why I like the Human Centipede to anybody, you can't do it without sounding like a serial killer or something.
They make my face
because
like...
it does revel in the suffering of people who don't deserve it and in offending you as much as possible. But if you can get around that and see it for what it is, which is just an exercise in pushing buttons, and if you can laugh at humor simply because it manages to be offensive in a way that you have never even thought people could film, for fuck's sakes, one of the first things that in the movie, for no reason, he gets a delivery of he ordered them from Africa because they're meant to be for male virulence and power. They're dried clitorises in a jar, meant to be a snack, and they look like cranberries or something. They obviously just used some prop, but and the meta humor in it, the mute guy from the second movie is he's in the movie as this guy's accountant who is trying to get him to utilize the Human Centipede as a criminal deterrent. He wants him to use it in the prison as a criminal deterrent. And what's amazing about it is when they actually decide to do it, the centipede's only in the movie for a couple of minutes. The movie's not even about the centipede. It's amazing. When they actually get to the point where they start designing this thing, and you see how deeply they thought into the idea of being able to secure people into the centipede, but at the same time have them easily removable and replaceable. So that it would actually work as a punishment where people could come out and come back in. It's really fucked up genius. And the meta humor in it encompasses things like the fact that the accountant, when he first shows it to him, the warden says these movies are literally pure shit. And, like, they're not even good. If you shaved out that stupid brush mustache of yours, you looked like that stupid guy from the second movie. Just blatant. And they actually bring in Tom Six, the creator and director of all three, as a consultant later in the movie for this.
Yeah, that one I heard about.
And by the end of it, of course, he's so sickened by the warden's techniques that he himself vomits and runs off, and the warden just looks at him running away and goes, "What a fucking pussy." Like, just, it's that kind of, like, masturbatory, self-reverential humor. And it's like, they actually made this shit. And I've watched the second one, I want to say, like, 4 times, and I've watched the third one twice already, and
I'm just gonna split this review in half. One is a review for Man from U.N.C.L.E, and the other one is a review of the Human Centipede Trilogy.
I was thoroughly entertained, and I'm ashamed to admit it. And at the same time, kind of proud to admit it, because goddammit, I made it, and I could see what he was trying to do, and bravo, Tom Six. You fucking did it. But yeah, I'll never watch the first one again. You kind of have to watch the first one just to get the primer for it. Oh, and best part is that, and I want to do this, I want to make this edit, he designed the movies so that they could be edited together. The second movie starts with the ending of the first movie, and then it goes to the credits of the first movie, and then it cuts to the fact that it's playing on a laptop screen.
Huh.
And then the third movie starts with the ending of the second movie, and the credits starts scrolling, and it cuts to the little TV that the guy is showing the movie to the warden on. Mm-hmm. And it's meant to be spliced together as a movie centipede. In the words of Tom Six. So, yeah. Anyway,
that's a review of the Human Centipede Trilogy.
I love the trilogy, and somehow I can't stomach the Kingsman scene.
After all of that, we've come full circle.
After all that, and the Kingsman scene was, I mean, they were racists. The people in the Human Centipede are innocent people, except for the third movie where they're criminals. Literally, at one point, the warden has a nightmare about being stabbed and then fucked to death in the hole by one of the inmates because they threatened him with it. He has nightmares about it. It's crazy. But then, like, it almost feels like the fact that I can't take awkward humor like The Office or Parks and Rec, but I love things that are super crazy awkward and horrifying, like Review and Nathan For You. Like, those shows are so much worse than The Office, but somehow I guess it's more surreal on that level. Mm-hmm. It's a level of shit that, like, this is so far off from reality that I can.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And again, I still can't nail down why that Kingsman scene bothered me so much. Maybe it's that it really just it really enjoyed watching him kill all those people too much.
After all of that, after all of that, you're honestly gonna accuse Kingsman of enjoying that too much.
I think it would have been different for me if the music choice had been different.
Really?
I think the scene would have been different if the music was like some intense thing, like, what is this man doing? Because it's also so against his character, and you know he's doing something against his will. Mm-hmm. And I guess I felt honestly, I felt more bad for Colin Firth's character in that scene than anybody else in that scene.
Well, yeah, you're kind of supposed to.
I think, but I think that was what bothered me the most. Like, I just felt so bad for Colin Firth.
Maybe. Now we've analyzed that whole thing. Let's move on to trailers.
I just felt bad for the hero. In the Human Centipede, there is no fucking hero, so...
So I think we spent, like, that was what, 20 minutes?
Was that 20 minutes?
I don't know.
I don't even know. We'll find out later.
I'm seriously tempted to split this into 2 videos.
And now you know I'm a fucking monster, so, you know.
Nah, it's okay. You like what you like. Who cares?
I have a thing for really fucked up horror movies.
If for some reason I don't judge you too much if you like the Human Centipede movie, I will judge you if you say
Japanese horror.
Like, I will absolutely judge you though if you come to say, hey, I think That's My Boy's amazing. That's when I would go, fuck you, you bastard, and then I would like spit in your face and walk away.
No, that's just plain terrible.
Well, and for moral, ethical, and objective reasons.
Oh, yeah. Here's another thing for you. I think a Serbian film is a work of art. So, go with that.
Send your all hate mail.
Yeah,
too.
that's for a gauge of how I see films and extreme cinema. That's how far I go. And yes, I mean the fucking uncut version.
All right. Disclaimer: the views of Muha do not represent the views of my commentators and all affiliates.
I think that's very clear just by watching this video. Something's wrong with me. I don't know.
It's okay, dude. You're among friends. Here,
I'm an actual good person in real life.
I know that. That's why I keep you around.
Yeah. See, there we go. I think it's just where I put all that energy.
I mean, it's like I've known people that liked all kinds of fucked up shit. I mean, have you seen the internet?
Yeah, I think it's the same theory that violent video games don't encourage people to do school shootings and stuff. They help stop them because otherwise they'd get frustrated a lot earlier.
Why do you think I make these videos? They're the only things keeping me sane, or relatively sane. Alright, so let's move on to trailers so we can wrap this video up because I'm hungry and I want to eat. So
Same here, man.
First trailer we got was for The Intern, which I'm always down for some Robert De Niro.
That actually looks like a charming little movie.
Yeah.
I would definitely go see that on a date. It is definitely one for the more sentimental crowd. But as far as sentimental movies go, it looks like it's
kind of dry, but
it looked like, I like the fact that it's less of a
rom-com.
No, there's no rom-com element to it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, it's less rom-com.
Exactly. It has that style of being of that kind of relationship building, while it has kind of more of a father-daughter style.
At least I hope it doesn't turn to rom-com. That'd be really creepy.
She has a fucking husband and a kid, and he obviously has nothing but the best intentions for her.
Yeah.
And respect for her and the fact that she's a hard worker and the CEO. So, all that together, I think it looks good.
Yeah, it looks cute. So then we got We Are Your Friends.
I'm conflicted about this.
I don't like Zac Efron, so I'm not really. It's not
Really?
I've not yet to see a movie of his.
Did you see Hairspray?
I did not see Hairspray.
Watch Hairspray.
I saw that awkward moment.
Fuck that. Watch Hairspray.
What's the one he do with Seth Rogen?
I don't care. Watch Hairspray.
Who did he play in Hairspray?
Huh?
Who did he play in Hairspray?
He was one of the main guys.
Okay, I clearly have not seen Hairspray.
The new one.
With John Travolta?
Yes.
I didn't know he was in that.
Yes.
Huh. I'll give it a shot. I'll give him one more chance.
Dude, watching that movie, I did not expect to have as good of a time as I did, but I had a fucking ball. It was delightful. Man, Christopher Walken, John Travolta, I forget everyone else in it. It's been a while, but I just remember having a great time. It's so
you sold me just on those two names
so
alone.
Fun. And John Travolta cross-dresses and plays Christopher Walken's wife. And the chemistry between them is hilarious. It's adorable. It's weird, but it's fun. I loved it. Like
this movie, We Are Your Friends, though, did kind of feel like DJ white people problems a little bit.
Here's the thing, though. I feel like there's a heist movie underneath it that really is. I feel like if who do you know who's directing it or anything?
I have no idea. It's the first time I've even heard of it.
It looks like some kind of. It looks like a. Not the same kind of let's have a great party like Project X or any of that shit, but it looks like it's made for the same demographic as that and Spring Breakers and all that.
A little bit, yeah.
But
it's definitely the same director, I don't think. But.
No, it's not. It's not Harmony Korine. That's the director Gummo. But when it comes to the actual plot of the movie, it definitely has the whole thing of like follow your dreams versus become a real estate agent. Coming from a boring place and thirsting for more out of your life, getting involved with a criminal element because you want the fast track out of there, and the idea of working hard and earning your way up and being scared of actually, gaining confidence in yourself in front of people and your abilities, and of course the one thing about it, which is the fact that it takes place in the dance music scene, and I think that even though his dream job is the DJ. I think that they kind of sell that in the posters and the ad campaigns, because seeing the full trailer made me feel like that has equal representation as every other part of the movie. Mm-hmm. I don't feel like half the movie is going to take place at dance parties. No. I feel like those are going to be kind of key scenes and character progression and everything. I had no interest in seeing this movie. Watching that trailer made me think that it possibly has more substance than I gave it credit for.
I mean, it's not a movie that I would ordinarily go out of my way to go see.
Me neither, but that trailer did intrigue me.
Yeah. And then we got a movie I am kind of... This one's going to be a guilty pleasure for me, I can tell right now. Agent 47. I kind of want to see it.
It's gonna be a crazy ass action movie.
It's gonna be dumb as shit. I'm banking on that.
It's gonna
right
be
now.
fucking stupid.
It's gonna be fucking stupid. It's gonna be like Ghost Rider for me. It's like, it is fucking ridiculous. I love it.
Yeah. No, Ghost Rider.
I will vehemently defend the 2 Ghost Rider films.
I still have to see the second one.
I love the second one to death. The second one's great.
I need to see the second one because it's from the guys that made Crank.
And they know it's a bad movie.
The guys who made Crank, they know exactly what they're making. If you go into Crank and like, this is stupid, you're in the wrong audience. Don't hold yourself above that because the directors know it's stupid. It's like going to watch It's like going to watch Anchorman 2 and being like, this humor isn't very intelligent or nuanced. Come on, dude, you know what you're getting into.
No, I'm saying that's me.
Oh, okay.
Well, I appreciate the high five, but no, I was like, no.
I thought you were agreeing with me.
No, like, I agree with you, but the problem is, like, that was me when I went to see Anchorman 2.
Yeah, I fucking hated Anchorman the first time I saw it, and then it just started to grow on me.
It never grew on me. Why not?
And it's
minivan person.
Minivan person being selfish and sitting halfway out of his spot. There you go. Okay, but yeah, Agent 47 looks like it's just gonna be a crazy dumb action movie. It looks like it's gonna take itself too seriously though.
I don't know. And also, the opening scene has a sniper bullet breaking handcuffs for some miraculous reason.
No, but that's my point. It's gonna take itself too seriously.
That can make it funnier though. Like, it could make it funnier.
I feel like it's gonna have. I loved the movie Wanted.
I thought it was okay.
I had a blast with it.
Yeah.
I just because of the fucking ridiculous action sequences, and I personally really liked the. I enjoyed James McAvoy's character and character progression.
I actually liked James McAvoy in the movie.
And if
anything, has Morgan Freeman going, shoot this motherfucker.
Yeah. The style of it managed to pull off some really intense character development moments while at the same time having a really great sense of humor at certain points. Agent 47 looks like it's missing that.
Probably.
It looks like the overly serious and melodramatic tone of Wanted in the points where it tried to be really like too serious and it failed. And like when Angelina Jolie's character talks about her backstory. Sorry, didn't work. But then you get to the other side of it, which is Agent 47 just looking like it's going to be a ridiculous movie that is kind of humorless and joyless throughout. It's just going to be, cool action movie. And you know what? There's a place for that.
Yeah.
But even the Transporter had good humor injected throughout it, which made it great. And on that note...
Speaking of which, actually we got, do you remember which one Burnt was?
Yes, it was the cooking movie.
Oh, Bradley Cooper wants to be a chef. Next movie.
No, Bradley Cooper is Gordon Ramsay, and yeah, let's see how that goes. It looks like a good cast. It looks like it's going to be dynamic. I personally love Gordon Ramsay and watching him do his thing. So, we'll see how that goes.
I'm more like, why do you have to be so mean? Like, calm down.
I've discovered over the years that I have an affinity for people who are no bullshit and are overly mean, but simply because they are the best in the world.
Fair. I mean, like, you got a point of position there, but at the same time, it's like...
You can't argue with that.
At the same time, I was like, dude, be nice, you know? Like...
Yeah, well, you know, it's the same reason that I defend people like Steve Jobs, Kanye West, Gordon Ramsay, Christian Bale. You know, I have certain people in my pantheon, which I'm like, I understand if you fucking hate this guy. You are absolutely justified, but you're also missing the point, and you're missing out on a lot of genius because of it. So... Sorry.
To each their own.
No, I know. The arguments I've gotten into over Kanye. But,
oh, God.
In defense
Not
of Kanye
even
West.
going to go there. Let's move on to the new rebooted Transporter. This is a movie that Transporter Refueled. This movie does not need to exist.
It doesn't need to be. It doesn't
I'm
need
mad
to
that it
exist.
exists.
It's directed by the same director as the third Transporter movie, which was the least of the three. At least the second one was a John Woo movie, and it was absolutely over the top.
I
stupid.
love that second Transporter movie.
Yeah, it's a John Woo movie.
Yeah.
It's like the second Mission Impossible movie. It's nothing like the first one, while at the same time managing to take the first one and turn it into a totally different action movie. And, you know, go you, John Woo. Fucking love your shit.
This one feels like, okay, we can't get Jason Statham back because he wants too much money, so we'll get, like, the teeny bopper impersonator, kind of. It kind of what it feels like.
I mean, the sheer fact that they called it the transporter refueled, I mean, really.
Kind of tells you everything you need to know about this movie.
Really.
At least they can call it revamped. Or the coming.
Oh God, what was it?
Or the return. That's another one.
No, there were some movies which just have it. At least it's not Terminator Genesis.
Oh God.
Genesis.
That's. Oh.
Did you see that one?
I did.
How bad was it?
Pretty bad. Schwarzenegger was good though.
Of course he was good. Yeah. Anyway.
Then we got the last one was Everest, which is a trailer I've talked about before. So.
Well, I mean, you've talked about it before, so.
I mean, you can say. Do you have any particular thoughts on it or no?
It looks like a powerful, dramatic film. And it looks like it's shot well. It looks like it's written well. It looks like it's acted well. It looks like it's directed well. It looks like it's going to be gripping and emotionally engaging. And my only problem with it is that while I have massive respect for people who are able to do things like that, there's part of me that has absolutely no pity for the ones that die. Just absolutely none.
You kind of know what you're getting yourself into.
It's almost like when Steve Irwin died. I was saddened. God, I love that guy. He was just so great. He brought love of animals and everything. He's a fantastic guy. But I'd been expecting that to happen for so long that I just wasn't surprised. I was like, all right. It was like seeing that a really old actor has finally passed away. Like Christopher Lee. He died. I was sad, but at the same time I was like, you know what? He lived his life to the fullest and he did what he loved. And
we're talking about a legend though, Christopher Lee.
Yeah, absolute legend. And you know, and Steve Irwin died doing what he loved. He was an absolutely amazing animal lover and an amazing human being, and he knew the risks doing all of what he did, and he died because of it. And people who do things like climb Mount Everest know that the entire trail up to Everest is littered with the mummified corpses of people who couldn't make it. It's known. It's part of it. So yeah, I can appreciate the drama of men trying to get back to their families and stuff, but it's what they signed up for, and I can't help but just feel absolute lack of pity for them.
Fair enough.
I feel like I'll watch that movie and be like, every guy who dies, instead of being like, oh God, he had a daughter, I'm like, you left your daughter to go climb a big hill. Fuck you. Like, just, like, you could have been there for your daughter and been, you know, part of her life for a long time. Instead, you just wanted to do something extraordinary because a normal life wasn't enough for you and you couldn't just live and enjoy your family. So, yeah, you have that drive, but you prioritize that climb over your daughter, and now you're gone because of it. So, sorry. It's done. I don't think I could. I want to watch the movie because it looks like a really, really cool visual experience, but in terms of an emotional experience, I've already given up on all of the characters.
Fair enough.
I already expect every single one of them to die up there. And if one of them doesn't, I'll be like, Hollywood ending. Like,
it'll be Josh Brolin. He's gonna make it.
Yeah, Josh Brolin.
If anyone's gonna survive, it's gonna be Josh Brolin.
And honestly, that's another reason that I would want to watch the movie, because I fucking love Josh Brolin and everything that he's in.
I'm still waiting to see if he actually does something to Thanos before Avengers 3 comes out.
Oh. Huh. That'd be a good casting choice.
He's already been cast. He was in Guardians.
Oh. Wait, he was Thanos?
Yeah.
Oh.
That was Josh Brolin.
Oh. Huh. Nice. Nice. All right. I like that.
Well, there you go. I just made your day.
There you go.
All right. I think we've rambled on long enough, so...
That was fun.
That was fun.
Even though it was half me just talking.
It's okay. It's okay, you know? I talk more than... I always feel bad for everyone else on the show, because I ramble on and on for hours.
I had to expound on the Human Centipede. I just had to. And
I'll just put like a slash in the review, like MTCN review team. Man from Uncle / Human Centipede Trilogy.
Man from Uncle / Why Mahan Loves the Human Centipede Trilogy.
I'll add that in the description.
Yeah, And I'm not even gonna try to explain why I love a Serbian film, because
That's a whole nother video.
yeah, that's it's not just a whole nother video. There's just things in that are blatantly unforgivable to anybody for very good reasons. And I agree with you, and I sympathize, and I do not, like, I think you're a better person than I am.
Oh, don't worry about getting angry comments, dude. It's like, you don't get angry comments from the internet unless you say Batman vs Superman might suck. That's what I've learned.
Wait, what? What sucked?
If you suggest that Batman vs Superman might suck, that's the only time you'll ever get really hate comments.
Really? Because I thought you got internet ridicule for suggesting that it might be good.
No, I got ridicule for suggesting it might suck. That's what I got ridicule for.
That's interesting.
Like, you don't understand how you're trying to do.
I guess you're in that intense nerd category. Although I do think that movie has a lot of potential.
I said I wanted it to be good, but I see why it could easily suck.
I want it to be good. I can see how it easily will suck, and I also can see. I think that seeing Batman vs Superman will make Man of Steel better.
We'll see.
Because the way that it approaches it directly addresses the mass destruction that I have a problem with.
Yeah.
And I think that the scenes that you see with Batman confronting Superman in the trailer are from early on in the movie. Because it's Dawn of Justice, which means it's the dawn of the Justice League. Which means you're probably going to see them team up against a much worse force, which is going to be the majority of the movie. And we're really just being... They're going to do the same thing to us with this trailer as Tom Six did to us with the Human Centipede trailer.
There's actually a strong rumor on what that threat's going to be. It's probably going to be Doomsday.
Oh, wait, so I mean they're going to kill Superman?
Probably not.
You can't kill Superman at the end of Dawn of Justice. He has to be in the Justice League.
I mean, the Justice League will bring him back. Be like,
the whole point of
it'll be
Doomsday
like Return of Spock, you know?
No, the whole point of Doomsday is that he kills Superman, and the only reason they bring him back is because in the comics they bring him back because they have to continue the comics. That doesn't make sense any other way.
Actually,
what are they gonna do? Remake Steel? Shaq's too old, man, and Michael Clark Duncan's dead. Who else is there?
Oh, well, I'm sad now.
Yeah,
LeBron James.
Rest in peace.
Hey, he was actually really good in Trainwreck.
I don't care. I'm sad about Michael Clark Duncan, man.
Okay. I think we're gonna stop there because again, I think we've been talking for over an hour, so I think it's time to wrap up.
Hey, man, we haven't nerded out in a long time.
It's been a long time, my friend.
Yeah.
I always
Good
enjoy.
to see you.
You know, I always enjoy our talks.
Yes, yes.
All right, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you all. I'm taking next week off. More or less. I may release one.
Hey man, come over. Let's watch a VOD thing. Let's watch something that's in theaters that's also on VOD.
I'm down for that.
Limited release.
When I get back from Texas, we'll talk it over.
All right.
But until then, I may release a Let's Play, maybe a couple of scheduled videos.
Do you want to just go see the NWA movie right now?
Dude,
Straight out of Compton?
Dude, I gotta go home and pack.
Right now! We do a couple hours, come out here, knock out another hour-long review.
Dude, I gotta save money, and...
I'm just kidding, I have to sleep before I have dinner.
Exactly,
so.
that's that too. So,
all
right, guys. Maybe these
we
guys...
run your battery down to the nub.
Son of a bitch. See you guys later, bye.